Thank you. Hello viewers, today we learn the Braille system and how it is used in writing. Let us briefly discuss the concept of Braille. Braille is a tactile system through which letters and words are represented using raised dots. It is a code used by people who are blind or visually impaired to read and write. It is not a separate language. There are different Braille codes for different languages. Braille uses sets of 6 dots which are called cells. The 6 dots in a cell that looks like this diagram. The 6 dots are used in various combinations to represent letters of the alphabet, numbers, punctuation and whole words. Braille system enables individuals to read and write through touch. To understand the concept of Braille, we need to learn some of the key points about Braille system. The number one point is that there are 63 ways to combine the 6 dots that makes the Braille. The numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 are used for easy reference when talking about what keys to press on the Braille writer or what indentations to press on the Braille slate. The next point is that each letter of the alphabet has a dot combination that represents the letter. For example, the letter B is made by pressing dots 1 and 2, while the H is made by pressing dots 1, 2, 5. We must push all needed keys simultaneously on the Braille writer to write a letter. Students, look at this chart which demonstrates the 26 English alphabet signs. The first line presents letters A to J. When we add dot 3 in all letters from A to J, we get letters from K to T correspondingly. Look at the second line in the chart. The next 5 letters excluding W are formed by adding both of the bottom 2 dots to the original 10 letters. W is anomalous because the letter did not exist in French, the language for which Braille was originally designed. Now we will learn the formation of words. Look at this chart. Here the words jab, cave, aid, fade and dice are given. Similarly, look at the punctuation in Braille format. These include Symbols such as comma, semicolon, ratio, dot, exclamatory mark, brackets, question mark, open and close quotes, asterisk and dash. Coming to numerals, the English alphabet A to J indicates the numerals 1 to 9 and J for 0. There are special signs such as letter sign, capital sign, numeral index sign, literal index and italic sign. Look at the chart for your better understanding and learning. In Braille, signs of operations are used. Look at this chart which presents the signs for plus, minus, equal, multiple and divide signs. Now let us learn the uncontracted and contracted Braille, which are also grade 1 and grade 2 Braille respectively. Braille is officially approved and it consists of two systems. Braille is written using individual letters of alphabet. It means that Braille writing is in full spelling. The system is called uncontracted Braille. Contracted Braille is short form or abbreviated form of words. Contractions are simply shorthand for words or part of a word. Earlier, the uncontracted Braille is designed as grade 1 Braille. A contraction uses fewer cells than the corresponding uncontracted form. Contractions are used in many ways. Here look at the examples for uncontracted and contracted Braille words. The word can is written in uncontracted form. Uncontracted Braille is written with each alphabet. Letter can has 3 letters in contracted form. The letter can is simply Brailled C as a whole word sign for can. This is called contracted or abbreviated Braille sign. Similarly, word perhaps is written both in uncontracted and contracted form. Uncontracted form spells each word, but in contracted form the first letter indicates P, the second letter is the contracted form for ER and the letters HAPS are contracted to one letter H. The word perhaps has 6 letters and it is contracted to 3 letters. The major problem in Braille is its volume or its bulk. Braille books are large and it comes in volume. For example, the 8th grade mathematics book will come in 2 volumes since a single book will be very large and hence needs to be produced in 2 volumes. This large book volume would be even worse if it were not produced with contractions. The contractions reduce the number of cells needed to represent printed words. This reduction results in smaller books, hence contraction is an important feature in Braille. There are nearly 189 contractions in English. These contractions are classified into 7 categories. We will learn the 7 categories. The first category is single letter whole word contractions. A single cell word contraction is the use of one cell for an entire word. For example, the letter B is used for the word but and the letter E for every. In English Braille, 23 letters are used as single letter contractions. However, the letters A, I and O are not used for single letter contractions. Here B is for but, C for can, D do, E every, F from, G go, H have, J just, K knowledge, L like, M more, N not, P people, Q quiet, R rather, S so, T that, U us, V very, W will, X it, Y you and Z is for us. Next is the single cell whole word contractions. There are 5 major whole word with a single cell which include and, of, the, with and for. What are single cell part word contractions? Some single letters are used as part word contractions. There are 6 single cell part word contractions. They include CH, SH, TH, WH, OU and ST. Though they are part word signs, they are used for full word contractions for child, shall, this, which, out and still. What are part word lower signs? They are AR, ED, ER, GH, ING, EN, OU, OW, SH, COM, CON and DIS. In Braille, we have double letter contractions which are CC, DD, FF, GG and EA. Next is the initial letter contractions. Initial letter contractions are formed by preceding the initial letter or initial contraction of the word by dot 5, dots 4 and 5 or dots 4, 5, 6. So, for instance, the letter D is standing alone word for do, but when D is immediately preceded by the dot 5, the word becomes day, which can be used for the whole word day or as part of the word yesterday. Then comes the final letter contractions, part word two cell contractions formed by the final letter of the part word and preceded by dots 4 and 6 or dots 5 and 6 or dot 6. These contractions are used in the final letter of a word. For example, in the word sound, OUND. Let us recapitulate our understanding in the usage of contractions. The single letter contraction for K is knowledge and the letter M for more. The teachers for the visually impaired and the English Braille readers must be well versed in using the whole word with a single cell. They are often used in reading and writing. Some of the short form of contractions are: today is shortened as TD. Declare is written as DCL, because as BEC, good as GD, and receive with the three letters as REV. Some of the words in which double letter contractions used are: BB is used for wrapped, dumbbell, GG is used for eggplant, aggregate, and the two letter DD for address, added. The two letters FF is used in words such as cliff, sniff, and different, and EA is used only in the middle of the word. Some of the examples are head, create, and ocean. Braille uses contraction to facilitate speed reading. Reading by touch is correlated to the number of characters in a text. Since tactile reading is slower than visual reading, the use of contractions helps a visually impaired student on a more equal footing with sighted students. Contractions also reduce bulk of Braille books, but children at primary school must be taught uncontracted Braille prior to contracted Braille in order to learn regular spelling. Children feel comfortable to learn regular spelling using uncontracted Braille. Some visually impaired adults who were taught contracted Braille when they were children feel that they are poor spellers as a result of using contractions. Though contractions are important features for Braille, they are not required in some contexts. For example, names in word formulae such as distance is equal to rate into time are never contracted, nor are acronyms and abbreviations. Another important aspect using contraction is that contraction should be used with the rules such as space between words, use of capital letter indicator, number indicator and so on. Thus, to conclude, we say that there are 63 ways to combine the 6 dots that make the Braille cell. Contractions are simply shorthanded for words or part of a word. Some people with limited knowledge of Braille often feel intimidated by it because reading Braille appears difficult. It is very important to not to plant negative feelings toward Braille in the student's mind. Instead, help foster interest in the Braille learner as well as peers. Rules for the contraction usage are comprehensive, and there are many websites are available which are given in the reference section for further reading and understanding.